Hey, boys and girls, happy Tuesday. To start today, we are going to review context clues. We will have a quiz on context clues coming up on Friday. So you're going to want to make sure you really know what context clues are. So let's review them. I have my reading notebook out here. You should have yours at home. And I'm just opening up to the notes that we took last week. Context clues, hints found in sentences that a reader can use to understand the meaning of an unknown word. Boys and girls, I use context clues all the time. When I'm reading a book and I come to a word I don't know and I'm trying to figure it out, I use clues to help me figure it out, okay? And we talked about how these are some of the ways we can figure it out. We can just see what makes sense. Is there an example in the story? Is there an antonym nearby? Or maybe even the definition or a synonym? Remember, a synonym is the word that means the same, and an antonym is a word, that is opposite. Okay? So context clues, hints in sentences that a reader uses to understand the meaning of a word. All right. There are context clues games you can play today. And there's also a video to watch about context clues, all right? Really take your time and pay attention to this and let me know if you have any questions or you don't understand what context clues are, because we will have a quiz this week. Okay, next, you are going to reread our story from yesterday, not Walter the farting dog, Yoon and the jade bracelet, okay? And I want to talk about something. I talked to your parents about this last week. I posted a video, but I want to talk about something. It is important for you to reread. You might think, oh, I already read that story. Psh, I don't need to reread. When you reread, you work on your fluency. Have you ever heard of that word? I'm going to write it on my whiteboard. Everyone say this word. Fluency. Say it with me. Fluency. Fluency is how you sound when you read. How you sound when you read. Now, let's see. When I'm reading our third grade book here, I've got it right here on my desk. When I'm reading our third grade book here, would you rather I read it like this? So, of course, that was the first. That's kind of hard to listen to. That sounds more like a robot. I like to use my hands and say that I'm sounding more choppy, like I'm sounding choppy, like a robot. And when I read, I want to sound smoother, more like I'm talking. That's what fluency is. Fluency is how you sound when you read. And when you reread a story, you work on your fluency because you're more likely to know the words a little bit better, and you can work on how you sound when you read. So when you read our story today, really think about your fluency. Don't skip this part. Don't skip it. I really do want you to reread the story. When it says that, really do it, because that is part of being a good reader, okay? Now, next, after that, you're going to reread your story. If you have your book at home, you can read it in your book, or you can look it up online. That's fine. Either one is fine. And you're going to open up your slideshow, the same slideshow from yesterday, and you're going to do slides 3, 4, and 5. You're going to do 3 slides today. And I have them here. I'm going to talk about them with you, maybe. Okay, I'm going to talk about them with you. Okay, so this is slide 3. Some more vocabulary. That's another part of our reading, vocabulary. We have to know what words mean if we're going to be a better reader. And, that's our whole goal, is to be a better reader, right? So we are going to, these are a lot of the same words we did yesterday. Actually, they are the same words we did yesterday. So does anybody remember where we looked to find the definition? Dictionary. So log on to Symbaloo. In the lower right-hand corner, you can click on the dictionary and type in celebrate. And if you look You can also look at your slide from yesterday. Celebrate meant to honor a special day or event. Okay, now I've got to think of this word in two other ways. I got to think of a synonym for this word, and I have to think of an illustration. I'm not even sure what those words are. I might need to look up the word synonym in a dictionary to see what that means. I'm going to go ahead and tell you it is a word that means the same. So I need to come up with another word that means the same as celebrate. I'm thinking party. Mrs. Marlin loves parties. So I'm thinking party would be a good synonym. That's also a way to honor a special day or event. These two words are synonyms. Now, illustration, if you're not sure what the illustration is, you could look it up, or you could think about what the illustrator does in a book. They draw the pictures. So an illustration is a picture. So I'm going to draw a picture of a celebration or a party. Okay, I'm going to draw, and Mrs. Marlin is not an artist, so no laughing. I'm going to draw me, and I'm going to draw a big smile on my face because I think it's fun to celebrate and party. And I'm going to draw a party hat on top of my head with a big fluffy ball at the top. All right. Then I'm going to draw some presents around with a big bow. Draw some presents. I know this is going to be harder for you on the computer. Just do your best, okay? And then I'm going to draw some streamers hanging from the ceiling, okay? So that's how you're going to think about these words. You've got celebrate, courage, disappointment, and precious on this side. You have pride, remind, symbol, and tradition on this side. This is slides 3 and 4, okay? And your last slide is to do number 5. And you already did the characters in the setting yesterday, so that should be pretty easy. But I want you to think about the story in 3 different chunks. What happened first at the beginning? Then what happened more towards the middle? Then finally, how did it end? So this is more sequencing, putting the story in order. And I can look back at my notebook. Sequencing, the order something happens in a story. And then we listed some transition words. First, actually, the transition words on our paper here are all listed in our notebook. First, then finally. First, then finally. It's exactly what we did last week. We talked about last week. So now you're going to think about the story and answer and put the story in order. Okay? And you can go ahead and fill those in too if you want. All right? Let me know if you have any questions.